Hello, my name is Melissa Thornton, and this is my signature project video reflection. So I want to start off by talking about my process in the signature project. My advocacy project was surrounding homelessness, specifically housing for the homeless in my community of Sonoma County, California. Homelessness is a real issue, and it's largely due to the recession, the recent recession. Um, I kind of went into this knowing that I wanted to do something for the housing for the homeless, but not really knowing what, not really knowing what organizations I could partner with, not really knowing what exactly I could do. So I went in kind of thinking, well, maybe I could make flyers and like hand them out to help change perceptions of people regarding the homeless. That's when I was connected with a member of the CDC, which is the Community Development Commission. There I was able to do a really formal interview to find out exactly what the CDC does. And I was actually connected with an upcoming housing summit. Essentially what that was the CDC gathering together lots of different organizations which were all coming together to advocate for homeless housing and to essentially end homelessness in the next 10 years. Through my contacts with the CDC, I was invited to participate in this, which was a really exciting experience. Going to this housing summit, I got to participate in a working group called Changing Perceptions. This working group was all about how can we, as a working group, band together to change the perceptions of people in Sonoma County. So in this working group, we listened to some keynote speakers talk about how important housing is really above everything else in ending the issue of homelessness. Because once you have housing, then people can properly recover from issues like drug addiction and alcohol addiction and any other mental issues they might have, which are predominant in the homeless community. um, so I would say some of my biggest challenges, getting to that point really was finding ways to contribute. I spent a couple weeks really floundering, not really knowing what I wanted to do. So finding out that I could participate in that housing summit was really huge. And then challenges once I was at the housing summit, it was a little intimidating at first because I found myself just as a college student, rubbing shoulders with lots of different people who have been working in advocacy for years and years and years and working to advocate for the homeless for their entire careers. So that was a little intimidating, but I found that I actually did have a lot to contribute when I got into my working group about changing perceptions. I found that my opinion actually was really genuinely valued, and I was able to contribute several ideas which are actually going to be put into action. I suggested in order to change perceptions, we need to really show the community the face of the homeless, really tell their stories, explain that these are real human beings. And to do that, I suggested that we take out a weekly column in our area newspaper called the Press Democrat. Now we have people looking into that. I also suggested that in order to, change perceptions, we need to do surveys and really find out what those perceptions are. So those are both ideas that I contributed that really I think are going to be implemented. A challenge when I was in the working group, I found that there was some disagreement within my working group. A lot of people were bringing years and years of experience into the working group. We had one woman who was essentially saying, well, we really can't do anything because we don't have data. That was a little frustrating because I don't really agree with that, and I wish I had spoken up a little bit more to say that. So that was definitely a challenge because, I am a college student who have been working on this advocacy project for the last 7 weeks, and I'm, challenged with coming up against people who have been working on on their advocacy for years. So that was challenging. However, I am proud of myself. I was able to contribute some really helpful ideas. And in the future, what this looks like for me is I actually joined this working group, for the foreseeable future. So not only was I going to be um, working with these people for that housing summit, but the working group's going to continue to meet coming up in January. So uh, I'm gonna be able to continue to do that, continue to contribute ideas, and continue to really advocate for the homeless. Um, so this has really changed my view of advocacy as a whole. I've kind of always saw it as something that these big organizations deal with, and like really community members like myself can't really contribute or offer anything. But when I was kind of forced to look into it and forced to do advocacy, I really found that it was really easy for me to get involved. It really just involved talking to the right people, who I was able to find quite easily. And it involved, attending the right events where I could make my voice heard. So that's really exciting to me because now I feel like I can participate in lots of different things, that I care about. Um, so in the future, that that really looks like for me is like really genuinely looking to advocate for issues that I care deeply about in my community. Also changed my view. I now see advocacy as a team effort. When I first had started, I was like really floundering because I was trying to do it by myself. I was trying to basically tackle homelessness as an issue by myself, which isn't possible. So I was able to partner up with the CDC and all these different advocacy groups which were represented at the housing summit, which I thought was really exciting. I really enjoyed this project, and really for me, it's not over because I'm going to be continuing to work on this project for the foreseeable future. So I really appreciated the opportunity this project gave me and the insight it gave me into homelessness. I definitely view the issue itself differently. I view advocacy differently. I see it as more of an accessible, very doable thing. Um, and I look forward to seeing what this can come to. So thank you so much.